only taught this at the camps a very few times, but I recently kind of took it up again, and I really like it. I think it's a very kind of simple approach to upper body control compared to hip control, and we use this I had a competition team in Copenhagen for many years. I was teaching there for 15, 18 years or something. And this was one of when I have a competition team, we always try to make specialists on the team. So we have like the half guard guy, the leg lock guy, the wrestler, the bear and bolo guy, whatever is trendy, And I had a bunch of guys who were doing literally only this grip and nothing else as an experiment / joke. So in every training, every competition, they would only try to get to this grip and then try to win from there. And so I have a lot of data from many competitions that is the evidence that leads me to believe that this is a really strong grip. We experimented with it for at least like 3, 4, 5 competition seasons, like years. And when I took it up, I taught it recently in another camp. I snapped a picture to some of my old teammates in Denmark, and they were all laughing and saying like they were still doing this. Like I was doing that yesterday still. They all like go for that grip still. And many of them are now teaching around clubs in Copenhagen and stuff. Anyway, enough story. I will show it, and literally to show it takes me 10 seconds, and the rest is just me proving that I'm right. Yeah. So the class will be incredibly short. And there's really no magic to it, right? It's literally just a headlock underhook, right? And then we'll try to do that, see how that works in different situations. And let me go right to it. I think the easiest position to start to practice this is the half guard. You have a little bit of control with the hip, and in the beginning, I think that's the easiest place to start. Yeah? It takes a little practice to work on your balance and your weight distribution to feel comfortable. In the beginning, you will lose it a lot. You will be rolled and stuff like that. So it takes a little bit of practice. Yeah, probably in this one class, you're not gonna just be able to pull that off, right? So the idea is this: I have a headlock, kind of like a guillotine, and one underhook, right? Okay, Prit, I'm not just going to take that underhook easy. I know here comes that debate, but how to get the underhook, that's the sport and timing aspect, yeah? So the grip looks like this: one headlock, one underhook. So it's quite different from like a classic crossface underhook like this, and it has many advantages. So basically, I go under the head and I go super deep. And what I want to do, optimally, is I want to put my hand on his chest and my weight on my hand. So it's like a hand sandwich, yeah. So I put a lot of pressure with my weight on it. So the hand is stuck between our chests, yeah. If my arm is really short or he's really wide, or for whatever reason I cannot get all the way through, maybe the gi is in the way or something, I can also grab I could do like a chin strap, right? So I could go here. Sometimes I'll grab that and then I'll switch, and maybe I'll lose the hand position and I'll go to the chin. I have a fairly long arm, so I can fairly easily get here, but I also had a bunch of guys who would just always grab the chin. Yeah? So whatever works for you, really. You have to find the little adjustments yourself. So I go under and I put the weight on my chest, and now I need an underhook with this arm. And sometimes you can grab it, sometimes you need to fake a guillotine, we'll get to that. But for now, just accept that you can get the underhook, right? So the underhook, depending on his strategy, his movement, his size will differ a little bit. Sometimes it's just a regular, like grab the shoulder. Sometimes if he really likes to put his forearm in front of my face and try to like to get my face up, then I might put it behind my head. I had a few guys who were really good at this. I might put it on the other side like that. You have to experiment a little bit with the hand positioning. Sometimes if I'm challenged on my weight distribution, I might have to post. And just the one rule that I try to do is not to post over here, because now I kind of give him the underhook. I give him a lot of space to take the underhook back. Yeah? So if I post, it's with the hand like that, or even with the elbow. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. That was the entire class. So I'll go under, I'll put weight on it, and then just take an underhook like that. You can put the hand here. You can put it to the other side. I even had one guy who put the hand in here for whatever reason. I don't know. They were like 5 or 6 competitors who were doing this and nothing else, and they all had like little variations of how it worked better for them. I'll pose the hand like that. No? So try to just take the grip first, and just the bottom person is going to be my coach, so he's just going to move around a little bit. And what I have to do is I have to switch between like dropping my hip, putting my elbow on the mat, my hand on the mat. Sometimes I put my head on the mat, and I try to make a triangle. That's the kind of the strongest shape. Yeah. So look, sometimes I go on my toes and I put my head on the mat like that. Yeah? Sometimes I'll put my hip super low and kind of sprawl. Sometimes I'll even switch my hip like this. Yeah, and you have to just practice this quite a bit to be comfortable with him moving me around. Yeah. So for now, just stay in the half guard, and Miski is just gonna do something, and I just try to keep my balance. Sometimes I need to go my elbow on the mat. Sometimes I sprawl out with my head. Sometimes I go low. Yeah, let's switch my hip. I can experiment a little bit with the grip, like that, maybe even take his chin. Don't worry about the guard, don't worry about passing anything. Just put a lot of weight on the hand. And I'm going to lose it now and then, or I'm going to get rolled, or he's going to pull me in the guard, or whatever. That's part of the practice, yeah? So try to just take the grip and just do that a little bit. Square a bit on the bottom, and you feel out the balance on top, right? Okay, let's try with that. Go. So, like anything else, it's obviously not magic. You just take it and stay there forever. It takes practice, yeah? And I know from experience that in the beginning, it will be difficult. You will fail, you will lose the grip, you will be rolled, and you will kind of fall off. But I also know from the data I have from putting people through this over some time that it is possible to acquire a strong balance and be really good at holding that grip for a very, very long time. Yeah? So basically, that's basically the grip. And I will try to do it from pretty much every position unless I'm on bottom. If I'm on bottom, it's just not, it's not working. Yeah? I have no control on bottom with that grip, really. And that's the grip. I will use it for different things. And at the end, I will talk a little bit about how it goes together with the guillotine. Yeah? Because it's like, that grip and the guillotine are like two sides of the same coin. Yeah? I don't really have time in one class to do like a guillotine class, like a high elbow guillotine class, but if you do that already, you will immediately see the connection. Yeah? So what can I use this for? I could use it for just like top control, right? So even if I could be in half guard like this, and I could have the grip, it's a really strong control. Even though I have no control with his hip or his legs, really, just by keeping him stuck here, it's really difficult for him, probably already you can feel that a little bit, it's really difficult for him to pull guard on bottom. Unless he has really long legs, or he's like super insanely like flexible, like a Chinese circus artist or something, he could maybe get me in the guard. Some people can, but for most people it's really difficult for him to pull the guard. The thing is, it feels like he can get the guard, right? It feels like, oh, the guard is there, but he can usually only go to like 95% of the way. He misses the last tiny bit because his head is here. If his head was there, now he could recover the guard easier. Yeah. So I keep his head stuck like that, as much as possible. Keep his head in. So even now, as he's trying to kind of pull me to the guard, sometimes it'll happen. But even see, he's almost there, but he doesn't get the last bit, right? And if he does, I let go because I cannot be in his close guard and keep this grip, right? And also, of course, with practice, I will learn to switch my hip, to move my weight around. So as he's starting to, maybe he gets in one hook as he did before, he gets in one like butterfly hook like that. Maybe this is my time to drop my weight a little bit, switch my hip, you know, and I will just practice that a lot to be comfortable here. And I had a few guys who would just get here in competition and they would just not ever let go. They would stay there for 7 minutes. That was the entire match, right? So, I'm not encouraged, it was not very entertaining, so to say, but they would always win. If they get the grip, they would win, right? Either by points or by guillotine, every single time. So I could do it in half guard. I can also do it in let's say I pass from here. I could do it from kind of side control. Yeah, it takes a little bit more practice because his hip moves more, right? But I can still keep the position. Sometimes I put my forehead on the mat like that. You see how I have a big, strong base? It's kind of difficult for him to roll me over or something. And sometimes I'll drop my hip here. Or sometimes I'll switch my hip the other way. And for the guillotine lovers, you already see all the nice opportunities here. Yeah. I could also use it to mount, but if I get to a real mount, I usually don't want to keep it like this. Yeah. But anyway, let's just practice just the balance a little bit more, and practice a little bit that the bottom person tried to pull to recover the guard, just lightly. I mean, if I was you, I would be you. I'd only practice this for 3-4 minutes, right? So he needs to give me resistance accordingly, yeah? So he will squirm a little bit, he will try to get me in the guard, try to roll me a little bit, just to let me practice moving around, switching my hip low, hip high, post wide, turn one way, turn the other way, just to be comfortable with it, yeah? Let's do that for a few minutes, then we talk about some strategies of actually using it, yeah? Let's go. So, also depending a little bit on your body type and the body type of the opponent, it may work better or worse. You know? If there's a huge height difference between you and the opponent, sometimes I feel like it's more difficult. But that's the joys of teaching a specific class at a camp, that it'll work not as well for everyone, but it is what it is, yeah? Regardless, it takes some practice to feel that balance, but hopefully you can already feel that maybe you get rolled a little bit and then you try a bit more and you realize that you can post or move your weight or put a hand out or an elbow, and then you get better and better at keeping your balance, yeah? It's like anything else where you need to practice your balance. All right, so how can I actually use this? I could use it as a kind of a top control, yeah? So let's say I'm ahead on points, I'm in half guard, and I can get that grip, I can stay there for a very long time and be safe, yeah? Because as we get better, it gets more and more complicated for him to pull guard in that grip. Yeah? Because often it's a matter of me just squirming my hips and my legs a little bit, and I will get back to the half guard or even side control. So let's do one example. Kind of a classic situation that happened a lot for us was I have the grip, it's strong. I spent 3 competition seasons just practicing this. He hasn't seen it that much, so he's pretty stuck. Yeah? What happens a lot here is that I have good control and he feels like he can pull guard, right? So he feels like, oh, it's almost there, you know? Like that. And with me just being comfortable with this, moving my hip, very often the more he commits to pulling guard, the more I will pass to kind of a weird side control. That's a pass, yeah? So that's 3 points. Okay? So sometimes it happens like he's stuck, you know, and he opens up to pull guard because he feels like he should be able to. And then I just kind of walk around, pass the guard. And sometimes, for me personally, in side control, I like to put the knee in the hip, and I'll be here, you know, maybe even put that hand out, ready to block, or put my head on this. See how I actually use both elbows as well for base, like this, and this would be a pass, yeah, 3 points. And sometimes, I'm a little bit more stuck, and I had a few guys who were really good at posting on the head and then using the leg to kind of get out and pass. Like a classic half guard style pass, yeah? Low pass. Huh? Low pass. Yes. So sometimes I just literally take my leg out. Sometimes I use my foot. It also depends on what is the score, how much time is left. If I'm behind on points, obviously I'm going to try to force my leg out more. If I'm ahead on points, I'll just wait for him to make a mistake and take my leg out. It also depends on how much, if he has been exposed to the position before. If he knows what's happening, he's probably not going to try to pull guard like this because he knows I'll just walk out. You know? So let's practice that a little bit, where you have the grip and you somehow find a way to get your leg out and get to kind of a side control position. Yeah? And again, practice a little bit the balance and side control. I think it's a little bit more difficult than the half guard because his hip is moving more, but it's possible. Yeah? So one thing that I don't want to happen is him moving his hip far away from me. Like this, now I kind of lose it. Yeah? So I'll follow it back in. The one thing that's different about this compared to like, I would say almost any other upper body grip that I do is that I don't really care about his legs. Because I know that if I'm okay with this position, he can't really pull guard. Right? He can only try and he can almost get there, but he can't really pull guard. So what happens often is I pass, and let's say, oh, he recovered the half guard. Yeah, I didn't lose anything. I'm still here. I'm still not gonna let go, ever, you know? And guess what? 3 points more, yeah? I'm still not letting go, and now I'm here, and I practice this position a lot, and Miske is he can't roll me, he can't do anything, and you know what? Oh, damn, I'm back in the half guard. What a shame. Yeah? 3 more points. Yeah? I'm still not letting go. Yeah, and I'm here, and now the referee is gonna say, you have to work on top. Yeah, are you gonna get disqualified? Then I know. In 30 seconds, he's gonna give me another warning. So I'm like, oh damn, that's a shame. Oh, he pulled half guard. And now he can't really give me a warning because I keep trying to get my leg up.
So nice.
Yeah, no warning now. I can stay here for 10 minutes. Oh shit. Oh, another 3 points. Yeah? And he's like, you gotta do something on top, you're gonna get disqualified. Sorry, ref. Oh, he pulled guard. Yeah? I'm trying to pass, I'm doing something. Yeah? And eventually Miski's like, fuck that, I'm gonna get the guard this time. 12-0, yeah? And I stay, and it's like, I guess I'm gonna try to mount. Oh, what a shame. Half guard. 15-0, yeah? And I kid you not, I cannot count how many matches we won just exactly like that. It was always 3-0, 6-0, 9-0, 12-0. Most boring competition strategy I ever had. But literally, once we got to that grip, and just had to spend like 1,000 hours practicing holding it, and it's not really common. I don't see really almost anyone else do it. So Miske shows up for a competition, he gets stuck in that, and he's like, what the fuck is happening? And I will just pull my leg in and out, in and out, in and out, and it's kind of a stupid loophole in the rules, but you can keep scoring 3 points all day long. Right? And as long as you don't let go of the grip, you're safe. Right? As long as you practice the position, you're not gonna be in danger of getting rolled or him pulling guard or whatever. Right? It doesn't work every single time, but from my data, I literally say hundreds of matches were won just by getting there and then pull the leg in and out. It's not the medals I'm most proud of, but it fucking works, you know? You gotta play the game. So let's try that a little bit. Be in half guard, feel your balance, try to actively pull your leg out or try to pass as they try to recover guard. Then practice the side control a little bit, same grip. And then, he recovered half guard and now you can pass again. Yeah? Let's try to practice that a little bit. Go. Okay, so that takes a little practice. To hold the position in side control is a little bit more difficult than in half guard because their hip is moving more, but it's only a matter of practice, I promise. So I'll be here, trying to go for that. I'll find the pass, and you will find your better position for side control, yeah? Some of my guys would always put that hip on the mat. Like personally, I like to create this triangle with my knee, my foot, and my head. Yeah, and some would always be here. But I guess everyone will find their individual easiest way of keeping their balance.
Thank you.
The thing from here is that if I feel uncomfortable in the side control and I can't keep my balance as well, if I give him the leg, he will almost always accept it. It's like, hey, Miske, why don't you take a half guard? He's like, yes, please. That sounds great. Half guard, something I know. And I don't mind being here. That's fine. Now my balance is easier, and it gives me another opportunity to score another 3 points. Yeah? With the gi, it's a little bit more difficult to get the hand in. Like, you have to be more aggressive, like punch the hand in. I had a few guys who were really good at going in and they grab this collar on this side and tighten it so it's a strong grip. You will kind of figure it out. Now, so that's one strategy that happens a lot. Kind of half guard to passing to back to half guard. Yeah? What I usually don't want to do is to pass to mount unless I'm really good at tying in the guillotine and I accept letting go of the grip. Yeah? And again, it depends on strategy. Some guys would use this only to attack the neck, and some would use it to hold this grip forever and never let go. Right? It depends on your strategy and your mentality. Right? But let's look at another thing where this is great in the guard. So he sits up in the guard, or I make him sit up. If he's on his back, I would usually like do this. Yes, nice leg, yeah, he wants it. So he sits up, and here comes really the important part of tying the guillotine with the underhook. Yeah? So even if you don't have the guillotine or you don't even know how to do it, just pretend you know how to do it. Because then you make him panic a little bit about his neck, and usually that will give you the openings for the underhook. Yeah? So one strategy we use a lot is when he sits up in the guard, I'm going to go for his neck. Yeah? And usually he doesn't really worry too much about the guillotine in the guard because it doesn't work, which is mostly true. Yeah? And especially if he trains with a gi, he's even less exposed to it. So if I go for a guillotine inside of his guard, he will think, what the fuck is happening? That's not supposed to be something that I could do. Right? So most of the times he will be confused because he's like, he's thinking either Christian is very stupid or very, very smart. Like he has a guillotine in the guard that I've never heard about before. In reality, I'm just thinking. I pretend like I'm trying to choke him, which I cannot. But as I do it, usually he will start hand fighting for the neck, yeah? And that's when I get the opening for the underhook, right? And now, as I have the grip from here, all I have to do, just try to keep your guard. That's it. I don't care about the half guard. That's fine. Boom. Yeah. And now I'm where I want to pass. Because with that strong upper body control, it's really difficult for him as I start to pass to get the guard. It's not really happening. So if I get the grip, all I have to do, make a wide base and literally just walk around the guard. So here, guillotine. That's it. And from here, this is where the farm boy comes in. You have to think it's a cow. You grab it by the horns, put it on the back. Yeah? If I just pass like this, usually he's going to get to his knees or something, and now I'm at bottom and it doesn't work. So I have to pass and like put his back on the mat. Fake guillotine underhook. Yes, please. That's it. And now we're going to be here for 7 minutes. Okay? That's it. If I feel, oh shit, really squirming. Oh no, half guard. Yes, this is much more comfortable. Tightening the grip. That's it, and then I'll find the time. Pass. And here we are. Yeah? If I go the wrong way, I will find out immediately because I will just pull side control bottom. Yeah? So please go the right way. If you're confused, try both. And one of them you will pull side control, the other way you will put the cow on the mat, on the ground. Yeah? So here, fake guillotine. I just want to get under it. And now look. If I only go to half guard, it doesn't matter. That just gives me an extra advantage. So, advantage, and now it's not passing. Yeah? 3 points. So, let's try that. Kind of stupid guard pass, but if you lock that in, you can walk around the guard as you want. Just don't end up on bottom. Let's go. So, in general, the strategy would be get the grip from anywhere except on bottom and in close guard and never let go. Right? That's the strategy. So sometimes it's in his guard, sometimes it's half guard, sometimes it's side control. Mount, not so much, depending on how good your guillotine is. And often it starts from standing, right? So it would be either a strategy would be to wait for him to shoot to take me down, do whatever you want. And this would be my go-to. Yeah? Get fake guillotine, then get the underhook, and now I'm home. Yeah? And from here, even from here, before he gets like a proper turtle, I can use that. Put his back on the mat. Okay, it's like catching the cow, and like put it down. Or it might be more of like a, I'll play like a snap down game, standing guillotine, and then just use that to put him down. That's pretty much it. You know? Either they would wrestle, and I would just spend like years on people getting to a front headlock, in any way you want. Just get practice. People to get here, and then if they can get the underhook, that works. Huh? Move down, fake guillotine, protect the neck points. Just bully him down like that. Yeah, I'm usually going to the half guard because it's still 2 points for the takedown. Like this, and I wait, but now I'm not going to let go forever. Yeah? That was kind of the main strategy. They pull guard, right? So he's like a guard puller, like this. Yeah? And I'll do the exact same thing. Big guillotine. If he taps, he taps. Yeah? But otherwise, it's just get here. Maybe the half guard. And yeah, we did this for, I would say, too many years. And probably, they're still doing it. Right? And also for MMA, it works really well standing up, because if I can get that grip from any position, it's really difficult for him to I have good control, and it's difficult for him to put a hand on the mat. I can keep it pushing against the wall, and the knees are there. All right, I'll just take it down. So, try to get it from everywhere and never let go, and see if you can pass. That's kind of the foundation of it. Let's practice a few more minutes. Just try to do guard passing, half guard, side control, maybe some standing. So the primary strategy is to get to the grip from anywhere except on bottom and never let go, right? And that just takes some practice, and you can trust my experience and my data that this is not a bad strategy. Yeah? Even though in the beginning it's a little bit difficult, but hopefully you can already feel that you get more and more stuck on bottom as they get better at holding the balance and the grip. Yeah? And then you will, through practice, trial and error, you will be better at defending them, like wrist fighting or rolling you over. Sometimes if your opponent is very round, there's more of a danger of them rolling you. Sometimes they're very flexible. You have to practice all that stuff. Right, so if you are not quite familiar with like a high elbow guillotine, I recommend you just put your fingers in your ears and just keep practicing what we just did. Right? If you're good at the guillotine, then listen. Yeah? So the good thing about this, the beautiful thing about this position, is that at any time, as I said, it's two sides of the same coin. Yeah? I have an underhook. If I don't have the underhook, I have a guillotine. If I don't have the guillotine, I usually have the underhook. Right? They go together. So every time I lose the underhook, I threaten his neck. Yeah, always. And as I threaten the neck, that might be my chance to pass or score more points. Yeah, and as he's defending the guillotine, wrist fight. Yeah? That gives me usually the underhook again. Yeah? I already showed you from the guard. You do like a fake guillotine, like this, and this is going to give me the underhook, right? Same standing up. I would do a lot of standing guillotines, even though they kind of suck, But as he's defending it, that gives me the underhook. And now I'm home. I'm right here, and I got the takedown points, no matter if I end up in his guard or not. So I just give him the half. It's like giving you more balance and a better chance of passing. Yeah, I'm getting the points for that. So in every position, I can always choose actively to go to the guillotine, or if I'm losing the underhook, the strategy is always to threaten the neck. Yeah? And as I do that, he taps or not, maybe he taps, maybe not, maybe I use it to mount, maybe I use it to get the underhook back. Yeah? But they're always connected in every single position. So strategy for myself is very often, I'll be here, I'll use this to drag out the time, because it's a great way to waste time in competition, like this, score some points, right? And from here, if I really want to mount, I'll let him fight a little bit for this underhook, and now I go for the guillotine. And as I go for the guillotine, he's usually worried about his neck, and this is my time to attack the mount. And if I lose it, let's say I lose, okay, make me lose it. I'm just here. And very often, If I lose the position or lose the grip, I go for the neck. So let's say I'm here and he starts to escape, and let's go to the knees or something. Like this is my chance. I have to go for the neck. If I keep onto the grip, I'm gonna lose all my power. Yeah? So without spending time on actually going through the guillotine, and I know I told you to not listen, but you're all gonna try anyway, even though you never tried the guillotine, I know that. Without spending time on that, if you're good at the guillotine, try to implement that with the grip. In all of the situations, guard, half guard, side control, use it to mount, standing up, from a snap down, a front headlock, go for a guillotine, it didn't work, take the underhook, put them down, pass the guard, go for a guillotine, yeah? They always kind of go together, yeah? So if you're not good with that, do what we did before, just practice your balance, your passing, all this stuff. If you're good at the guillotine, try to start putting them together. You will see that they are like made for each other, right? Let's try it, a few minutes. More to it than practice from there. Sometimes you set it up by getting the grip first, sometimes you set it up by a guillotine first. And it goes from every position, right? You grab the head and then you see, is there a guillotine or is there an underhook? If I can get either, then I'm in the game. Then I can play my game. But very often, personally, like what I like to do is to attack it from kind of like pass to a half guard, and then from here go for like aggressive guillotine. And usually he will think that I'm really good at the guillotine, which I'm not. Because my shoulder and my wrist are fucked, so this is all just fake, but I threaten it, and this is my chance to go here. And now I'm exactly where I want to be for the rest of the round. Yeah? Maybe at a camp, it's a little bit boring to just get stuck, and there's no timer at the open mat, so it's even worse. So I don't necessarily recommend that, but try in every of the positions where you're on top, look for guillotines, underhooks, and see if you can get one of either, then you're in the game, yeah? And then you just stay there forever. Use that to pass, use it to mount, use it to guillotine, right? Yeah? I wish I could say a lot more about it, but there's really nothing more to it. Just get the grip and never let go. That's literally it, yeah? And see if you can find the guillotine, if you're good at the guillotine. If not, learn from someone who's good at it and then implement it later. Yeah? Don't do bad guillotines and blame me that it doesn't work. Okay, if there's any questions, I'll hang around the open mat, so I'll be happy to help you out, or even to guillotine you a few times for this situation. It would be my pleasure. I could post to you some competition highlights from these years, but it's really boring. It's like literally just people holding on and never letting go and scoring 3 points all the time. That's it. So there's nothing interesting to see. It's just get the grip and never let go. All right, thanks for participating in this class. I'll see you tomorrow. I will teach, I will imitate Pritz. I'm planning to steal some clothes from his wardrobe and do Pritz class, but from my perspective. Right, that's it. Thank you for joining.